Welcome to JWL Sports, where we break down all the best clips of sports around the country. Now, here, I want you guys to leave comments. I want to get in arguments. I want to get in discussions because if we go to these other platforms and these other links where these videos are being shown, the discussion's not really there, right? Colin Cowherd is not actually reacting to you. He's not responding to any of your comments. J-Mac, not responding to any of your comments. Here, I will respond to your comments. So if you think I'm crazy, let me know if you think I'm crazy. If you think I'm right, let me know that you think I'm right. Either way, let's get into some debates. Let's get into some discussions. And ultimately, let's just have some fun. So here we go.
31-10, Buffalo hammers Dallas. Road Dallas. Road Dak. Josh Allen, 7 of 15. That's it. 1 touchdown, no picks. 94 yards passing. Actually, that's closer to how I want Josh Allen used. It really is. It's like those early Big Ben Steelers teams. Defensive coach, defensive culture, stout running game, physical both sides of the ball, and then this 6'6", 260-pound towering quarterback with a big arm could 2-3 times a game make a huge throw. That's what won trophies. Because this version we've seen the last few years where Josh Allen Superman's not winning trophies. They moved from Ken Dorsey to Joe Brady at coordinator, and I'm seeing stuff I like. They're just...
Okay, but see, that's where Colin's being a little bit hypocritical because he's constantly saying how important it is to have an offensive coach, offensive coach, offensive coach. And now he's saying great offensive quarterback, great quarterbacks and defensive coaches win championships. Well, obviously that's a possibility, right? Like every type of variation can technically win a championship. We've seen teams that have like no quarterback, win a Super Bowl. So this notion, like he's kind of flip-flopping here, which I understand because it's new information. And if you have an elite quarterback, I think it's easier to have a defensive coach if you have an elite quarterback. Because if you have an elite quarterback like a Tom Brady or even like a Patrick Mahomes, then you can get away with having a defensive coach because what makes your offense elite is your quarterback. Now, the problem is sometimes that doesn't really work out very well because you can be an amazing quarterback, and if you don't have a good offensive coach that puts you in a position to succeed, well, then it doesn't matter how good you are. Like Patrick Mahomes is an amazing quarterback, but if he had a different defensive-minded coach, would he be winning as much as he is? Honestly, probably not. So I think you can't just say that one is necessarily better than the other. But I would say that you're better off in 2023 going into 2024. The modern football, the way how football is being played right now, is you got to have an offensive coach and you have to have a pretty darn good quarterback. But I guess where an offensive coach can really shine is if your quarterback isn't elite. Because if your quarterback isn't elite to the level of a Patrick Mahomes, right? If you have Patrick Mahomes, if you have a defensive coach, you're always going to have a shot, right? You'll always have a shot. But I guess what makes an offensive coach really worth their value is if your quarterback isn't as elite, right? If you are on the level of a Brock Purdy, a Dak Prescott, Gardner Minshew now, right? I mean, it's like that's what we're seeing is that they can really elevate them. Or an offensive coach can make these other quarterbacks look elite. Brock Purdy kind of looks elite right now, but that's in Kyle Shanahan's offense with all these offensive weapons. So it's how would Brock Purdy look with the Buffalo Bills? Not good.
Just not calling plays anymore. They're more reliant on the run. They found James Cook and they're using him. Less reliant on Stephon Diggs. Remember, it gets cold in December, January, February. Can't be reliant on the ball downfield. They're less reliant on Superman plays. Remember, the Steelers... Those trophies dried up the more reliant they got on Big Ben when they asked him to throw 45 times. Just because you have a quarterback with godlike talent does not mean you have to squeeze every ounce of it every Sunday to carry the team. Occasionally, like last night, yesterday, Josh Allen can be a complimentary player. Yesterday, he was a second pitch and a highly effective one. Now, I'm not a huge proponent of defensive cultures in 2023 football, but we do have a history here. When you get a great defensive coach with a star quarterback, Tomlin, Big Ben in his prime, Belichick, Brady, Jimmy Johnson, Troy Aikman, Pete Carroll and Russ in his prime, You hoist trophies and you get to Super Bowls. Don't have to win them all, but you get there.
But those are elite defensive coaches, right? Those are elite. I mean, you're talking about some of the best defensive minded coaches in the history of the NFL. So comparing that to, who the Bills coach is, I don't think that's necessarily a fair assessment.
And we keep waiting for Buffalo, with all this talented Josh Allen, to get there. And I think this is the way you get there. That it looks like when Ben was throwing 22 times a game and not 42. Strong run game, tough defense, very physical, great at home. Now, it's not nearly as much fun to watch Buffalo as it was a few years ago when it was Mahomes and Josh Allen, and he was going 37 for 51 for 3 touchdowns. That was way more fun. It was a video game. Those are the best games I've ever seen, maybe. But this is how you hold trophies. This is how you do it. That you have a star quarterback, but he can be a complimentary player. First downs yesterday, 28. In a game, the most rushing yards under Sean McDermott, 266. Time of possession, 35. Heavy doses of James Cook, occasionally to Stephon Diggs.
So what I think this highlights is the importance of a run game more than anything. Going forward, you need Josh Allen to throw the ball more than 15 times, okay? The thing is that the Bills took the lead pretty early on. So now you're going to run the clock, run the ball, control the clock, do those sorts of things. Minimize the mistakes because Josh Allen can, make mistakes and, you don't want to bring them back in. Plus, the Cowboys defense is obviously a good defense. And I agree, right? Just because you have an amazing quarterback doesn't mean you want your quarterback to be throwing 40 times a game every single game. I think with in the NFL right now, we've devalued the running back position, but we shouldn't devalue we can devalue the running back position financially, but not necessarily how important they are on the field. Because the thing is you can get a running back that can be just as good as a first round in the second round or the third round, right? So you don't have to pay top dollar, but that doesn't mean that having a good running back isn't crucial for your team's success. So I agree with that. I think we've kind of, with analytics and stuff like that, we've kind of gotten away from the importance of the running back position. The running back position is still important, and establishing a run game is absolutely crucial, but we don't have to pay them $30 million a year.
Occasionally asking Josh Allen to make a play. That's the scary Buffalo. That's the hold a trophy Buffalo. 38-36 Kansas City-Cincinnati games, way more fun to watch. I'm not interested in the TV show Bills. I'm interested in the trophy Bills. James Cook leading the way, defense and physicality leading the way. Loved it. Let me tell you something. If Buffalo runs the ball like that you want no part of. You want no part of a Buffalo team that can run, and Josh Allen can throw it on 2nd and 4 and 3rd and 1. That's frightening. Shootouts, I got Mahomes, I got Burrow. You got Josh Allen. Okay. You can't run the ball. But Buffalo running the ball, physical both sides, getting a big pass rush. And then Josh complimentary, 4 or 5 times a game, puts on the cape. That, I think, is unbeatable. And that's the best game they've played, in my opinion, in a couple of years. You saw it on display. Okay, so the Dallas.
So, yeah, I think he brings up a good point. Again, you need a little bit more out of Josh Allen. You need more than just 7 for 415. But the thing is I get it, right? When you have a Superman quarterback, right, you don't want to rely on him being the Superman every single time. And when you use it more sparingly, you have the impact can be so much greater. I mean, you can see this right now. Patrick Mahomes is trying to be Superman, and it's exhausting him, right? Because his team is just not as good as it has been in the years past. And now he's getting frustrated and run down. But with Josh Allen, what's frustrating about the Bills right now is that the Bills are a fun team to watch. Josh Allen is an exciting player to watch, and you want to see them in the playoffs. And what's frustrating is that they're a good enough team that they shouldn't be limping into the playoffs in the wild card. And what sucks is if they end up being the 7th seed, then they're going to be playing a top team very early on, which then can take. Then it's like you lose one fun team is going to lose, right? Let's say it's the Bills versus the Ravens, or even the Chiefs. However, the seeding ends up working out in the first round and like the wild card round. That's a bummer. Like, sure, we get to see those teams play, but it's like you want to see them kind of move on through the playoffs, right? You rather see them, get there in the AFC Championship or the round before. So it's unfortunate that the Bills kind of dropped the ball so much because they are an exciting team. We want to watch them play multiple playoff games, and even if they are a great team, I don't want to see them knock out the Ravens in the first round or the Chiefs or whoever. So we're kind of being robbed to some degree by good playoffs. So hopefully, to some degree, they actually maybe win the division last minute, which is still technically possible. And then maybe we can actually get a few more like actual good quality, intense playoff games. My fear is the way how the seeding is going to work is you're going to have two really good teams knock off, someone in the early rounds, and then the next rounds are just not going to be as exciting, right? There's a possibility that it's Joe Flacco in the AFC Championship game against the Kansas City Chiefs. That's not exciting. That's just not. I mean, I'm excited to see Joe Flacco play, but like, who really thinks that they're gonna come out victorious in the AFC Championship game like that? Not likely. So, but what do you guys all think? Please let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's really just build a community here. I'm really excited to do this. I think it's can be a lot of fun. You just don't get engagement on these other pages, right? You go to the herd and first things first and any of these other things, you just don't get the interaction. Here, let's get the interaction, let's get the discussions going, and see y'all next time.